I was curious about, you know what, you mentioned it at the convention, and I have this question. You know Quentin, right?
Yes.
You know Hubbard's son.
Yes.
Can you tell about him? Because there are so many stories, and I'm not buying most of them. I don't believe all those, talks.
Well, I don't know that I know what the stories are. Excuse me.
What was your impression? Because he was auditing you. He was your auditor, right?
He was for a while, yes. Gave me a lot of auditing.
Can you talk about Quentin? Can you tell us how did you perceive him as a personality, like as a person? Tell about him.
He was basically a very sweet, quiet, gentle person. I don't think he really had a chance to grow up in a normal way. By that I mean, I don't think he had a real close, I don't think he had the real close family situation that he as a person needed as a child growing up. I don't think he was abused. I don't think he was neglected. But I think that he had needs that were not quite met. And that he struggled, that caused him to struggle a little bit, as to find his feet as he was going through his teens and making his way into manhood. I mean, many of us have these struggles. There's nothing strange or new. It's just a pity that with the opportunities that he had as the son of L. Ron Hubbard and Mary Sue Hubbard, the opportunities that gave him, that he wasn't able to become a little more stable as he grew up. I think he was a very lovable young person, but he wasn't very approachable. He had a reserve about him. I think with him, as with his brother and his sisters, although, so far as I know, they weren't pushed into being Scientologists, once the family was on the ship, they really had no other choice. Because it would have been very difficult for everybody if they had gone off the ship, say to some college or university somewhere. The press might have been after them. Other people might have been causing them problems. So I think they were more or less trapped into a family situation on a ship. And they were willy-nilly part of the Sea Organization, part of Sea Org management, and very much involved in the technology, whether they wanted to or not. Mm-hmm. And I think that definitely caused those children a certain amount of stress. Quentin was a very good auditor, although I remember I don't think he enjoyed Dianetic auditing too much, because the auditor doesn't have a lot of work to do. I think he got a little bit bored, but that was okay. He was always there for whatever was needed. But I think his inner stresses and conflicts came to a head, and there was some trouble between him and his father that I don't know exactly what was going on, and it must have had a lot to do with what was going on in Quentin's PC folders, which his father would have probably CS'd at any rate, have seen a lot of. And what the dynamics were, I don't know, because if there was trouble in the family, then Mary Sue was certainly involved. But I just don't know exactly what happened, but one day Quentin was in the RPF. And that to me, that was a big shock to me, that LRH would have done that. I don't think that was managed well at all. But anyway, there he was, and he came out of it eventually, went back into town and was auditing. Then he was off on vacation in the States. He left Clearwater to go on vacation, and the next thing we knew was he had been reported as having been found dead in his car. And that of course was a huge shock. Terrible loss for Mary Sue and for his father. But that's what happened.
Okay. Well, all right. Now you were out of the church, right?
Yes, in 1982.
1982. But have you stopped being Scientologist?
Never, no.
No. Okay. So what are you doing? Are you using the Scientology now? Are you helping anybody using technology, or what do you do in Scientology now?
I audit. I specialize in some of the advanced courses, the audited ones particularly, but I also do Dianetics and grade auditing. I have some clients who come to my house, and I have some clients that take me from my house over to their house throughout the States, and I will stay with them and take them to a certain point and then go home.
Okay, this is very nice. Thank you. And what do you think about the free zone? Do you think it has a future, or how do you see the future of the free zone?
Well, I think the future of Scientology is the free zone. Definitely. I think the true spirit of Scientology will carry on through the free zone, because it certainly doesn't exist, so far as I can see, within the church.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to say, as far as I can see, the church is, at least some people in the church are doing their very best to kill off the spirit of Scientology and to stop it and to make whatever they're doing into the antithesis of Scientology, which is to make the able more able and to help people become more ethical and more self-determined and pan-determined. But these things are impossible from what I can see. Well, they were impossible in my day in the church, which is why I left. I just could not face the idea of living anymore with people or in a group that thought that they had the right to tell me what to think. There's just no way that could happen. And I think it's even worse today than it was 30 years ago.
I see.
Oh, in the free zone, we're very free to practice Scientology according to our own personal integrity. And I think it's in the personal integrity of individuals the spirit of Scientology will live and endure.
Yeah, this is very true. Those words are very true. Thank you. Well, we still hear some sounds coming from up there where the party's been going on up to the convention. So, can you say a couple words? What do you think about this convention that you participated?
It was very enjoyable.
9th Free Zone Convention, yeah? Number 9. It was 9th.
Okay. Yes, it was very enjoyable. It was very good to meet some very old friends, people I hadn't seen for many, many years, and to meet new ones, to meet new people who are have come into Scientology outside of the church, and people who were in the church and came out and have found the free zone and are on their way up the bridge. and it was the convention was very nicely run and presented. It was very good for me to express something of what I remember of LRH, and to be able to emphasize and focus on some of the very, very good memories that I have of him, which are memories of a side of him that hasn't been talked of much, generally speaking, over the past many years, because there have been a lot of voices raised against him. Some of the criticism has been just. He was not perfect. He made some quite serious mistakes. But a lot of the noise against him is irrational. It's, in my opinion, irrelevant, but it's there. And I'm glad to be able to put out and record something of the other side of him, so that people can have a bit of a balance, and so that people can know that their instincts, that there is help and hope in Scientology. Those instincts are correct. There is help and there is hope in Scientology, in the free zone.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ken, for your talk. And it's going to go on the YouTube, and speech on the convention is also going to be found on YouTube and various independent Scientology websites.
Wonderful. Thank you very
Thank
much,
you very
Tatiana.
much. Thank you.